Of course. Right as I hit start stream.
Last minute throat clearing.
It's not last minute. It's first minute. First minute phlegm.
You said
phlegm
3-2,
explosion.
and I coughed and.
Yeah, but what I don't tell you is by the time I say 3, we're already live.
Well, that's just great. So what you're saying is that the countdown is defective.
Phlegm explosion. Wallace over there. I'm waiting for
Covidify in action.
I'm waiting for these bits to come in. I think the bits are rolling in, Lewis. Oh yeah. And we're live. Oh my goodness, Lewis.
Dang it.
Are you all right? Should I dial 911 on my phone, but then not hit send, but just leave it open in case you need medical attention?
I'm so tired of taking the COVID tests.
Yeah, how many have you taken, do you think?
I don't know, dozen.
It's just is your nose just raw from all the COVID testing that you're doing?
I mean, a dozen today.
Well, it's only lunch, so. All right, let me set out this tweet. CultCast is live watching Lewis Wallace take COVID tests. The COVID test challenge. We're gonna see how many tests he can do in an hour.
Jeez.
I just leave one permanently up my nose. Every once in a while, I just pull it out and check it, then I put it back in.
Look like a character out of Bret Easton Ellis novel. Just blood just trickling down my nose. Glassy-eyed look.
Here we go. Boom. There's the tweet, Lewis. It's not my best work, I'll be honest, but I have a feeling it's going to get them rolling in. We got Level Remix here. We got Mark T here. I think we're ready to roll. That's all we need. Just the 4 of us. Oh, great, Lewis. Lewis is turning into
somebody take my place from
Prince Valium. Brian McCulley wants a very aggressive yeah. There you go, Brian. I don't want to hear nothing about it, Lewis. Okay, well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Clearly, my title is not luring them in, so I think we got to just get going and wait for the algorithm to see how interested people are and start bringing them in. So, shall we do that here, old Lewis Wallace?
Let's do it.
If we must.
I have to try to send the quote tweet. It might take me a moment.
Okay. Would you like a moment of silence so you can construct the quote?
Oh, now I'm getting nervous. Don't watch while I type.
Mark T. Lewis's nose is like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, God.
Your face is looking awfully red. I think there might be something going on with your white balance there.
My light bulb burned out. I didn't have a chance.
Oh, is that all right?
So I got no lights. I'm working in the dark here. I feel like a mushroom.
We got MacBook Foe with a very enthusiastic hello. We're getting ready to start. I don't know.
It's even more ghastly than before.
All right, I'm queuing up Mrs. You Know Who, Lewis. Let's get this thing rolling. Oh my goodness, it's like watching a vampire emerge from a house into the sunlight.
I'm going back in the dark.
Why is your skin smoking?
Oh my God, my life is not good right now.
Oh man, okay.
I need a new house.
Well, I didn't realize there was a window right there.
Yeah, and you see what happens if I open it, and also blinds me. I like right now, my head hurts just from that. It's so bright.
Okay, well, it's a good thing you don't need to see anything for this show.
Yeah.
All right, I'm queuing up Mrs. D. Let's get this thing rolling. Oh, Mrs. D. Oh, Mrs. D. Oh, yes. I, too, like to be in the sunlight. Oh, really, Mrs. D? Are you a fan of the sun? Oh, yes, when me and El Katie make love outside. Oh, gross. In the full sunlight? Oh, at high noon, darling. Oh, that's when you get the most light. Gross. Well, you know what, Mrs. D? If you don't mind, I'd really like to just get into the Apple show. I don't want to hear about the escapades of you and El Caney, especially when you're doing it in full sunlight outside. That's not a pretty image. Maybe I should run that through Dolly. What do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Burn that thing down, man.
I like to go full sunlight. That's right, Level Remix. Let's go outside into the sunlight.
Why do people always decide to contact me on Thursdays? I hear you got a podcast you're doing. Wouldn't it be a great time to give you a phone call and a bunch of text messages? Great! Sours the mood is what it does. It sours the mood.
Okay, Lewis, look. Mrs. D's ready to go. If you guys are all set, Let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to CultCast, the best 30+ minute Apple conversation you're gonna hear all week long. I'm your host, Everett Elijah. Joining me today. Most people hate the spring forward time change, but for him it means putting on his green drill sergeant one-piece coveralls and rousing the Cult of Mac riders early with a bullhorn and the hose. It might be his favorite day of the year. He's the managing editor of Cult of Mac. Lewis Wallace is here.
I gotta admit, I am not adjusting well to the time change.
Dude, I'm not either. Out of all the things that we disagree on here in the U.S., I feel like that's the one thing that we actually all agree on. Let's get rid of daylight savings time. I hate it. Everybody hates it. Like all the farmers that it was supposed to help when it was instituted, they all have like remote AI tractors now, like in so there's no point in doing it anymore. It just ruins everyone's day. I don't mind the fall back. Actually, I like that part, but the spring forward is just frightful. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not adapting well.
That could be your motto.
I hate change.
Oh man, we've got okay. I'm gonna try and say this name. We got Black Greninja, Black GRE Ninja. I'm probably not saying that right, but they are pointing out that I've got the dynamic eyebrows, and that much is true. I can move them all around like Jack Black. That's the key. These are the money makers right here. When you watch the HomePod reviews on my YouTube channel, and I'm like, that's it. That's the look. That's the one that gets them to do the click. Level Remix says they're working on it in Congress. Yeah, I hope that's true, dude. I feel like it's a no-brainer. It's a slam dunk.
Yeah,
you know?
Working on it. I mean, honestly, how much work can that possibly take?
Well, they got to make it 15,000 pages and fill it in with all sorts of handouts.
Pork in there.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
The top line is get rid of daylight savings, and the other 15,000 pages are all the other things that they want to pay for. Greninja is a Pokemon. Okay, got it. All right, I'm gonna have to start page that later. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here today, my friends. We're gonna be talking about Apple working on a touch screen HomePod. Oh yes, that's something that I would spend my money on. Tim Cook versus the Apple industrial design team. It's like they're on Twitter, duking it out. Tim Cook is forcing the launch, according to this new story. Industrial design team is saying the Apple AR headset ain't ready, and they're saying like 2 or 3 years. And TC is saying, y'all. They want to go and launch it this year, so that's an interesting story. We've got a report that says Apple is re-examining AI development, so I guess they gave up on it. And now they're like, you know what? This AI thing, it's got some legs. Maybe we should go back and take a look. There might be something to this.
Maybe we could ask ChatGPT what would be a popular color for an iPhone.
Maybe you should ask ChatGPT to give you the code for a good AI assistant on the iPhone. Just let it program it for you. How about that? That might work. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Apple Music Classical finally making its debut. Now, look, I know this sounds boring. Lewis told me it's boring. But I actually did some research. I know that doesn't happen often.
What?
And
unprecedented.
I was looking into this, and I was like, wow, this actually kind of looks cool. Apple bought this company, Prime Phonic, and then shuttered it to integrate this into Apple Music. And at first I was like, why do they need a classical app? There's classical music available on Apple Music. But that's the secret sauce, is the app itself and the way it's set up and what you can do with it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then also, well, let's not get ahead of myself. We're also going to talk a little bit about Apple at the Oscars. And normally we wouldn't cover the Oscars, nor would I recommend you watch the Oscars. But there is an interesting development that's happened this week that I thought was worth mentioning, that Apple is working on that no one's really talking about. But I thought we could at least discuss a little bit. Yeah, I know. Now I have
what a tease.
Piqued your interest, didn't I? That's what I'm best at. And then it comes to the substance, and you're like, oh, great. There's nothing to this.
God, I've seen that piqued your interest. I've seen that misspelled so many different ways.
It's PIQUED, right? With a little PK.
A little what?
What is that thing called? You know?
No, I think it's just a straight PI.
What's that little thing called? That little squiggle? It's like a little
Tilde? Is that what you're thinking of?
Probably, yeah.
I don't think
That little diagonal line that goes over the
PIQ, you
PK.
mean.
It's probably French. All right, all. Arafon and Lewis, are you guys watching Ted Lasso?
I have not watched the season 3 just yet.
I haven't
Have
watched
you?
any of it. No. I don't know if I'm going to. It looks so boring, to be honest with you. That I probably won't. Before we dive right in, and we're gonna dive. We're diving in big time. I want to give a thanks to Collide for supporting this episode. Oh yeah, you heard me right. Our sponsor Collide has some big news, Lewis. Are you ready for big news? You look like you might be ready for small news. So if that's true, cover your ears. I don't want to make you pass out here live on the show. If you're an Okta user, Lewis, you can get your entire fleet to 100% compliance. 100%. Have you ever dreamt of that number, 100%? You're more like a 26% guy. 26%, you're good.
Oh, my fleet,
your whole fleet.
the Cult of Mac fleet.
That's right. All the devices managed on the Cult of Mac fleet. Well, let me tell you something, Lewis. If a device isn't compliant, the user can't log into your cloud apps until they fix the problem. Boom. It's that simple.
Total lockout, huh?
Collide patches one of the major holes in zero trust architecture, device compliance. Without Collide, IT struggles to solve basic problems like keeping everyone's OS and browser up to date. Unsecured devices are logging into your company's apps because there's nothing there to stop them, Lewis. You're not there. You
Can't
don't
be
even know what's
everywhere all
happening.
at once, doing everything.
You'll be one place at a time. That's true, but that's where Collide comes in. Collide is the only device trust solution that enforces compliance as part of authentication, and it's built to work seamlessly with Okta. The moment Collide's agent detects a problem, it alerts the user and gives them instructions to fix it. If they don't fix the problem within a set time, blocked. Lewis, blocked.
Oh, I thought it was going to be just like you have 20 seconds to comply.
I will suggest that feature to them. Just makes your phone explode. Shrapnel. That sounds effective. Collide's method means fewer support tickets, less frustration, and most importantly, 100% fleet compliance. And unlike Lewis's method, Collide's method is legal. Visit collide.com/cultcast to learn more or to book a demo. That's collide.com/cultcast, KOLIDE.com/cultcast. All right, Lewis, let's dive right in. Are you ready to dive? Do you have your swimming cap on?
If only I had my Apple Watch Ultra.
Oh, man, you got to get one of these, Lewis. One of the best purchases I've ever made. I could probably do 30 minutes on it right now.
I love the enthusiasm.
Just a monologue right now. Completely unprepared. Let's talk about the big news this week. Touchscreen HomePod, Lewis. Touchscreen HomePod.
Ooh.
Just when you think HomePod is done, people got their forks out. They're ready to put the fork in. And actually, that is true for my original HomePod. It is done, but
still done, huh?
I'm going to take it to the Apple Store and see if they can do something about it. But I don't have high hopes. I mean, I don't think Apple's going to do squat for me, but we'll see. But Apple could launch its first. Am I sharing my screen? There we go. Browser mode. Apple could launch its first smart display as soon as next year. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo believes Apple is preparing a HomePod with a 7-inch display for H1 2024. Launching a smart display under the HomePod branding is seemingly a part of Apple's new smart home strategy. Well, I'm glad to hear they have a strategy. That's nice.
Jeez.
In a Medium post, Kuo claims the 7-inch display on the HomePod will allow for deeper integration with other Apple products. You know what I love about this? Kuo's all over the place, man. He's on Twitter now. Now he's on Medium. I'm sure he's going to have a Substack soon. He's probably going to be integrating with ChatGPT and DALL-E 2. I mean, this guy's, I like his gumption.
Personal singularity.
Let's see here. A display will open the door for many possibilities, including using HomePod as a smart controller. Oh, yeah, dude, that would be awesome. I would be all over this. And there have been reports about Apple working on an iPad-like smart home display for 2024. I wonder if these are the same things. It's seemingly also developing a smart home cradle for iPads, similar to the docking station that Google is working on for its upcoming Pixel tablet. Now, that would be cool, too. If there was like a MagSafe dock that you could just plop your iPad into, and it would all of a sudden turn into like a new UI, a new UX for your home, that would be something that I would be interested in using, because you have all this great home HomeKit stuff built into your iPad, but if your iPad's closed somewhere, you can't really do that. Your thoughts, Lewis?
Yeah, it sounds great. Although I got to say, I have a one of those Google one of those things, and I have never even set it up. I just sitting on a desk.
You
it's
mean
like,
you mean the screen?
yeah, a smart screen.
Well,
and
it's Google. I mean,
it knows the answer to things and can give you the answer to things.
but it doesn't integrate with your HomeKit products, does it?
Well, we've been down this road before, right? Everybody, things can. There are methods to make it work. I'm just unwilling to do it. I think that, isn't the main reason somebody wants a HomePod with a screen so that you can put it in your kitchen and read recipes?
Yeah, that's
And
one
look,
reason to have it
look
on
and
a
see
screen.
who's ringing the doorbell, the video doorbell.
Yeah, if you could find a HomeKit compatible
They're out there.
doorbell.
There's tons of them.
I don't know. I wouldn't use the word tons.
Yeah, tons might be overstating the case.
Maybe several.
There's a handful.
I don't even know if I'd go that far. There's a couple. I mean, there's one from NetAtmo, which I'm not sure. It might have been vaporware. I'm not sure they actually ever released it. It looked really cool. And then, I mean, the Arlo cams I think added HomeKit support after they released, but it was real bad. I tried it and I was like, it's gonna be a no from me, dog.
There's two in the Apple Store: Logitech Circle View wired doorbell and the Belkin Wemo smart video doorbell. So that's just two that are in the Apple Store.
I should see if they'll send me one to check out. That's the thing, man. I live this weird existence, which I'm sure many of you do, where we love the Apple ecosystem. We try to stay in it. But then there's all these really great cheap products that you'll see at like Costco, and they all integrate with Alexa, So then you're tempted to try them out, and now you have like this divergence and support and features and all this kind of stuff for all these different products.
You've got a doorbell installed on your house.
Yeah. And then you got to use like some separate app just to look to see who's there. It's really annoying. So for that reason, I try to stay in the Apple ecosystem, and I would love to have some kind of HomePod with a screen attached. I'm trying to see if Sonos will send me. They have these new Era speakers. They have the Era 300. In fact, maybe I should bring this up. They have these new speakers. The Era 300 is let's see here, is like their higher end version of the speaker. There we go. Yeah, and they support Dolby Atmos. And let's see here. Yeah, there we go. I mean, they also support AirPlay, of course. Oh, they're humidity resistant. That's interesting. So I was wondering if they would send these to me and I could do a comparison of these versus the HomePods, because they seem like they would actually be like a really good comparison. And they also support
spatial audio.
Spatial audio. Thank you. Wow, look at this. Look at this blowout, man. That's cool.
A blowout.
Yeah. I know. Normally when you think blowout, you think of El Caney. That's not what I mean. When you're on their webpage, sorry for those of you listening, if you scroll down, it shows you one of the Era 300 speakers, and then as you scroll, it like blows it all out piece by piece. You can see all the internal components. That's pretty cool. This thing looks pretty baller. And since it supports Dolby Atmos and spatial audio, it seems like it's kind of in that HomePod realm. And I'm wondering if it sounds better than the HomePods, the new HomePods do. But in any case, that would be a cool comparison. I hope they'll send some of these to me.
Wow, it's got a line in.
I know. Imagine that. It probably has a USB-C attachment too. So if your software update fails, you could actually fix it. Isn't that amazing? So there you go. HomePod 7-inch update. It looks like 2024 sometime, but I'm happy to see that Apple is working on other HomePod products. I definitely am interested in any HomePod permutations we could get our hands on, because I think that's a really cool line. Let's move on, Lewis. Let's talk a little bit about the big news this week, which isn't the HomePod stuff. That's big to me, but let's talk about TC versus the Apple Industrial Design Team. This was a major story this week, and an interesting insights that we often don't get into Apple products and the politics of getting them released.
Yeah. So Tim Cook reportedly sided with Apple COO Jeff Williams to launch the AR VR headset this year, despite the fact that the Apple design team wanted to wait a few more years to launch AR glasses instead of the headset, right? Supposedly Apple's operations team wanted to launch a version of the headset with a ski goggle-like design, which sounds like what we're going to get. It's going to let users watch 3D videos, chat with realistic avatars on FaceTime calls, do interactive workouts. The design team was pushing back on this because they wanted to have what we've been talking about forever, which is more like a Google Glass type of thing, you know, that you could wear outside and that would be way more, how do you say, Apple-y, right? As opposed to like
polished
weirdo with a, you know, bag on your head watching.
I feel like Steve Jobs. I hate to invoke his name, but I feel like if he saw that you had to have goggles with a wire going down to like your belt
and a battery in your back pocket,
he would flip out. Like he would be throwing chairs, tipping over desks. I remember the guys from. Do you remember the Jawbone, like that Bluetooth headset?
Right.
Whatever happened? They turned into Aleph, and then I think they completely disappeared.
They were the biggest thing in the world.
They were
for
huge,
a while,
and I haven't even thought about them in years.
Yeah.
I remember the founder of that company told a story where he was trying to show Steve Jobs a product, and it actually had something in your ear, and then it went down with a wire and attached to your phone or to your belt or something. And Steve Jobs kind of listened to him, and then when he was done showing him the product, I think he said something like, "You got to be nuts to think that anyone is going to use a product that attaches by a wire to anything else on your phone or your belt." You know, just in true Steve Jobs fashion, just rude, ruthless. You know, just tore it apart.
Completely dismissive.
Yeah. But the founder was like, he was right. Like we totally changed the product because we realized that was true. Like people, I mean, he was just being realistic. And now
somebody listened.
Now here we are. I don't know if the Apple mixed reality headset it's gonna have a wire. We've heard that it's gonna attach with a wire to a battery pack on your belt, but that idea is so ludicrous. I don't know if I actually believe it, but who knows? I mean, if they're trying to get this thing released. But the thing that I thought was interesting about this story, Lewis, was that the design team is at odds with Tim Cook, and they're saying this thing's not ready. Like we think that we should continue to iterate on it, and
yeah, I mean, I heard some, right? I read that, and I read some people with that kind of a headline, but it's not really that they're saying it's that this device that they're going to release isn't ready. It's that they're saying we shouldn't release a device like this, right? It's a subtle difference, but it's basically saying this is not what Apple should do. Apple should do a pervasive computing device, not a sit in your basement by yourself and wave your arms in the dark device, right? And you know, this article, by the way, I guess we should sort. This is from Financial Times, and they framed this as like, yeah, big split within the company, and like really shows how far the design team's influence has dropped, right, since Johnny Ive left. Like, oh, this would never happen under Johnny Ive. You know, I think Johnny Ive did have a lot more power maybe than the now, you know, leaderless team, right? I mean, they don't even have the person that replaced him is gone or is leaving. I don't know if she's actually left yet, but they're not replacing her. They haven't been able to find somebody supposedly, and so all the designers just, you know, reporting to Williams.
Well, I don't know if they haven't been able to find somebody or if they don't want to find somebody. Yeah, that's an interesting distinction.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows? I mean, maybe they say, well, we could find someone, but we don't want them to have that much power. I don't know. All the stuff that I've read about this makes it sound really interesting, like the way those teams work and how, like, a lot of times the designers are like have been pushed to, like, basically, or the designers push for a design that is almost impossible to pull off, and then the engineering team somehow makes it happen, which is an interesting way to work, right? I mean, it takes you good places rather than like what it sounds like is happening now. It's like, well, we can do this. It ain't great, but we can do it. Let's see how it goes. I mean, I don't know. I'm so confused about what this device is going to be and what the the selling point. The only thing that I can think is that it's not really going to cost $3,000. That's just been a...
I would kind of be surprised at this point if it did, because especially if they don't have a compelling use case for it, people are not going to spend $3,000 on this. But maybe Tim Cook is okay with that. Like, maybe he just wants to get it into developers' hands and start iterating on it like they did with the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch sucked when it first came out. It was slow as heck. All you could do is send your digital heartbeat to all your other male buddies. That's like, oh, that's cool. Let me feel your heartbeat, Chuck. You know? Oh, it's so tender.
Send it to me again. Called? I can't even remember. Digital touch.
Digital touch. Now it's not even in the watch. It's just completely gone. Like, they just didn't know what they were going to do with the Apple Watch. Maybe they had some kind of idea of that they wanted to take it in like the medical direction, but certainly when they launched it, there didn't really seem to be very much that you could do with it. And again, I know I've complained about that thing so much. Like, it was so dang slow. Like, it felt like they were going to fix it. It was so slow that I was like, surely they're going to fix this at a certain point. And they didn't. They just moved on to a different model.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting point. I mean, maybe that's what this will be, overpriced. But I don't know. It at the same time, it sounds like it's going to be like the best one of these things around, right? So
yeah,
who knows? Yeah. $3,000. But maybe they floated a $3,000 price point just to get people like really excited when it's only $19.99, right?
Yeah, they just kind of fished,
set the bar really high, so that it seems like such a bargain. What a steal! It's only $2,000.
They gave
supposed to be $3,000.
They gave Gurman the information he needed to leak, as per usual. I swear that guy's got a contact at Apple. I swear, it's got to be true. Like, sometimes the stuff that he releases, I'm like, he's got to know someone. Like, they have got to be using him to like actually leak accurate information to gauge. I've got no proof of that, but that's
you think he's got a handler.
Oh yeah,
like a CIA handler,
and he probably meets him in some corner alley, and his handler's like, "Dude, why are you wearing that trench coat?" He's like, "I don't want to be recognized." Wearing a trench coat with like a high collar, so people can't see his face. They trade secrets on microfiche. All right, well, I don't know. I'm just curious, chat. Anyone excited about the Apple mixed reality headset? I think that it's interesting. But people tend to tune out whenever we start talking about this. I don't think anyone cares, especially knowing it's going to be like expensive and it probably won't do anything that you actually need it to do. I mean, that's the thing. Like VR headsets have been around forever. I know this isn't a VR headset. It's a different thing. But you know, the Oculus has been around forever. I've used the Oculus. It's cool, and there are some cool use cases for it. Like if you want to do VR gaming, but that's such a niche thing. And this is going to be in that same realm, you know? So I don't know, man. But I thought the more interesting story was TC and the industrial design team.
Said, you do it now.
Yeah. You know, let me show you how squinty he got, Lewis. Just like that. And they're like, is he asleep? He's like, oh no, y'all. I'm serious. Not asleep. Let's see here. Before we move on, do you want to give a quick plug to the giveaway this week, Lewis?
Yeah, brand new one live on the site today. Very exciting. We're giving away 2 of these things this week. This is a not so ordinary selfie stick from Switch Easy. It's called the, you won't believe this, Easy Selfie Stick. Easy Selfie. Nice.
Make it easy. Why not make it easy? Why are you making it hard for yourself?
Yeah, nobody wants a hard selfie stick.
No.
Yeah. So this thing is it's basically a 3-way selfie stick or whatever. It works as a tripod, which is cool. Also works as a selfie stick, and it works as a Bluetooth, remote control, right?
Oh, so you can just press the shutter on the stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And these things we reviewed it on Cult of Mac a while back. 5-star review. Very, very, very excited with it. These things, they're not actually that expensive. They're $44.99. Although right now they're on sale in the Cult of Mac store for $35.99. But really, the best way to get one is to go to the homepage, cultofmac.com, scroll down to the giveaway section, and go on into that post and enter as much as you can. Enter early, enter often, and get your hat in the ring. Like I said, we're giving away 2 of the Easy Selfie from Switch Easy.
And you might as well try it. if you need a selfie stick, because I think a lot of people don't try because they think that they can't win. And I always tell people, you got a chance. You got a chance to win this.
This is a very legitimate giveaway, and you have every chance in the world.
And if you win, Lewis will show up to your house in person and hand it to you.
One thing I didn't read is just how sturdy it is. I'm not sure if you can use it to, prod people.
Discipline cultimatic.
You probably can.
and you can record it with your phone as you're smacking them with it to analyze your form.
Yeah, that's nice. Just like one of those golf simulator swing stick things.
Yeah, see, this thing has multiple uses.
Form. Your beating was 7.3.
You missed the mid back, which is the most proper place to deliver that strike.
You need a dark place.
But it's effective. Dark but effective. All right, so I'll put a link to the the giveaway in the show notes, of course. I'll drop it in the chat if you guys want to hop in there and enter. And I think that you should, because you just might win it. And also, oh my goodness, I also want to give a quick thank you to Squarespace for supporting this episode. So, you still don't have a website, eh? You've been listening to this show for years. You still haven't gone to squarespace.com/CultCast. And you've just been a big loser. Shoot, I've been trying to make you spit out that water you're drinking. It didn't work.
I have such control.
Look, you're not a loser, but you're borderline. And if you want to get your life in order, you need a website. Everybody needs a website. I have several websites that I own and operate. One of them, it just prints me money. It's like, I mean, the Secret Service has been to my house several times. They're like, do you have a money mint here? And I'm like, no, it's just my Squarespace website. And I have a great product, cultcloth.co. And once I got it set up on Squarespace, which took me probably 10 minutes total, and I customized everything, I made it look uniquely mine, no coding required. It just runs itself. There's nothing I have to do. And people just keep placing orders. The orders just keep coming in, Lewis.
It's so impressive, man.
And I tell people, like, if you got a great idea, maybe you already have a business you want to promote. Maybe you want to promote yourself to prospective employers. Let me tell you something. Having a website is such a game-changing feature, especially if you're like a college student. People are going to research you before they want to hire you. And if you don't have a presence online, but someone else does where they can showcase all of their work, I can tell you for a fact it makes a massive difference. It puts you way ahead of anyone else because you're marketing yourself and you're creating a brand for yourself. Or maybe you have a skill set that you want to train other people to have. They can book your time on a Squarespace website. You can create a members only area, charge people for entrance. The velvet rope treatment, you know? I'm all about those velvet rope treatments. I'm not going anywhere unless it has a rope, Lewis. A velvet rope installed. You can do that. Or maybe you just want to have a simple website, a one-page website to promote an event that you're having. You're getting married. You're going to an arm wrestling championship. You need people to sponsor your ticket to get there. You want to go over the top, Lewis. I could keep going, but I don't think I need to. If you're ready for a website, okay, now what?
How long does it take you to set up a website there?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
You could have one up and running in 2 minutes with almost zero work. But if you want to dive in and make it look uniquely yours, which is what I recommend, you can do that in, you can spend in as little as much time as you want. You can do it for 10 minutes. You can do it for 30 minutes, an hour. You can just tweak everything, and it's really easy to do. Squarespace.com/CultCast, Squarespace.com/CultCast to get started. Build a website, see how you like it. If you want to keep your website going after your free trial, 2-week free trial, use code CultCast at checkout. You'll save 10% off your first purchase. And if you get a year of service like I do, you get a additional discount. So it's a nice, tidy little bundle for you, nice and affordable. And it's set it and forget it. Once you have it built, you don't even need to look at it anymore. It's just all done for you. Squarespace.com/CultCast.
I was looking at somebody's website the other day.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, researching a story or something. And I went to it. It's like they hadn't updated their website in like 3 years or something.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a person who's, alive and working as a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And, their website has like a link to their blog, and it hasn't been updated.
Makes you look like a real schlub.
Yeah. I mean, so And maybe his website isn't as easy to update as a Squarespace website would be. Maybe that's his big mistake.
Tell the guy to use offer code CultCast when he's signing up for his free trial. All right, let's move on, Lewis. Let's talk about, just real quick, I wanted to mention this story. Apple won a Oscar this week. You know what I have to say, Lewis? They are doing high quality work. I don't love every show that they've released, but they're building something that I think that ultimately is going to be really successful because they seem like they're really focused on quality, right? And they're building high quality stuff. The image and the sound aspects of Apple TV Plus are just phenomenal, like the best that's around. It looks incredible. And if you have HomePods, even better, right? Like everything just sounds amazing. And Apple won an Oscar this week for a show that neither Lewis nor I have seen. I wonder if anyone in the chat has seen it. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse wins Oscar for Apple TV Plus. It's an animated film.
Short film.
Short film. Okay, yeah, it's 34 minutes. That tells the unlikely bond. Tells of the unlikely bond between four friends as they explore the meaning of kindness, courage, and hope. So, I haven't seen this. I'm not even sure I'm going to watch it. Maybe it's worth actually checking it out. But what I thought was interesting about this is I started doing some research. Apple has hired John Lasseter to make animated films for them. John Lasseter, if you don't know who that is, he worked at Pixar on probably all their biggest hits, all the Toy Story stuff. The guy is a master storyteller. And he resigned from Pixar, I think amidst some potential controversy. I don't really know exactly what happened. But he's gone from Pixar. Apple scoops him up. And then John Lasseter brings on a composer, a man by the name of Alan Menken. Do you know who Alan Menken is, Lewis?
No, I do
Does that
not.
sound familiar to you? Alan Menken has composed some of the most popular scores in some of the most popular Disney movies that have ever been made. Let me see here. Composer. Alan Menken. I'm pretty sure he did The Little Mermaid.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he did Aladdin. Let's see here. No,
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, Pocahontas.
And let's see here. A Lasseter. And I believe John Lasseter and Alan Menken have worked together in the past. So the company that is going to be making this content for Apple is called Skydance. So now Menken and Lasseter are both at Skydance working together. And this is kind of the dream team. I mean, together, these two people have made some of the most popular scores and some of the most popular animated movies ever made. And now they're at Apple, working for Apple, essentially. So Apple is positioning themselves to start creating animated content that is going to rival Disney, I think, in many ways. And a lot of people are not happy with the content that Disney is making lately. So as Disney struggles to make content that's compelling for people, now you have Apple swoop in. And they have hired the dream team that has helped Disney make some of their best content ever. I just thought that was an interesting development. Let's see here. Do we know what content they're making?
Well, Luck, another animated movie on Apple TV Plus, came out last year.
And did they both work on that?
I don't know if they both worked on it. Let's see.
Okay.
I'd never even heard of this Menken guy, which is kind of
embarrassing.
Alan
Menken? Well, it's because you don't have kids.
H.L. Menken.
Who's that?
Old dead journalist.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't heard of that guy. R.I.P.
Yeah, he was great. Let's see. They also, I guess they worked, or Lasseter's company, Skydance, right? Mm-hmm. They produced The Greatest Beer Run Ever, which is on Apple TV Plus and did not get maybe.
I was gonna say, did you see that?
No, I did not. It did not get the finest reviews. Let's see. There was another one that they're working on. It's coming out like in the next week or so. Biggest door prize ever or something like that.
Okay, that's a little quirky.
The Big Door Prize is what it's called.
Uh-huh.
I think that comes out later this month or something. Yeah, March 29th. So yeah. I don't know, man. That Luck animated movie did not get such great reviews.
No,
but the whatever it is, the boy, the mole, the horse, and the jackalope. I can never remember the title of the name. It's too long to fit in a headline. But that thing got great reviews. Our reviewer called it, like one of the best. Well, I think he said it was absolutely the best animated thing they've done on Apple TV.
And sorry, which one was that?
The boy, the horse, the mole,
the
phantom. Well, I can't remember the name of it for some reason. I can never. It just doesn't stick. It's such a long list. But
and it looks like the
it's supposed to be awesome. It's supposed to be really a fantastic thing. Idris Elba it voices, I think, the Fox character, and whoever does the mole is supposedly fantastic. I mean, it's like supposedly great voice acting in it. Just a fantastic.
Let me tell you something there, Barry. No one does a better mole than you. I gotta have you. Gotta have you for my mole film. You do the best mole impression I've ever heard.
So you were there for the signing, huh?
Boy, I mean, it's hard to do a good mole. Trust me, I've been working on one for years. You got to get it just right.
It's hard to talk about a movie you've never seen. I mean, I feel kind of bad I never watched it because it got such good reviews, and
So the movie that they're making for Apple TV Plus, forgive me if you said this, Lewis, Spellbound, is the movie that Alan Menken and John Lasseter have signed on to write and create. So I don't know when this is coming out. Doesn't look like it says here, but I did think this was. Don't you just love it when some random website tries to send you notifications? It's like, would you like notifications?
I know.
Does anyone ever click allow on that?
And why do they do it all the time? It never stops.
Or my favorite is like you get to a website that you've never been to before. In the first 2 seconds, they give you a pop up to sign up for their newsletter.
Right.
I'm like, dude, I've been here for 2 seconds. I don't even know.
I know.
Who you are. You got to earn. If you want a newsletter spot, you got to earn that. You got to earn that. I'm not going to just give that away. So anyway, Spellbound, Alan Menken, John Lasseter, the Dream Team. That could be exciting stuff. And Apple TV Plus just keeps adding, interesting actors, interesting developers or directors, interesting content to their stable. It's almost worth the $5 they used to be charging.
What?
It's almost worth the $5 a month that they were charging, and now they're charging $8.
$7. It's $7, right?
$7.99, isn't it?
Yeah, $6.99.
That's $6.99. Okay.
There
well, they might get me one of these days, but for now, I'm getting ready to retest my my Best Buy method.
Oh, jeez.
My subscription just expired again. And if you all didn't catch my Best Buy method, there's a way to go through Best Buy to get an extra 3 months for free, even if you've had it before. And I've been doing it. I think this is my third or fourth run, and they just keep giving it to me for free. So.
Boy, one of these days, Tim Cook is going to show up at your door. You're going to hear a knock, and it's not going to be him knocking. It's going to be one of his large bodyguards.
One of his goons. Yeah, his squinty-eyed goons are going to be here. Get me.
Mr. Cook would like a word with you.
Mr. Elijah, come this way, please. Hey, let me go. They just deck you right in the
you
gut.
sound like a mole. How'd you like to do our next movie?
All right, Lewis, let's wrap it up here. You want to talk about classical? I have a feeling you're a fan of classical. Am I right about that?
No. I
Not
mean,
at all?
I don't hate it. I just don't seek it out. My wife loves it.
Yeah. I got to be in the right mood to listen to Ludwig van Beethoven. You know what I'm saying?
You ready for some ultra violence? Is that what you're saying?
I got to be
some
in a car chase or something. But Apple is about to release this classical music app.
Finally.
It's been rumored forever, right?
Well, yeah. So it actually, and I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never seen anything like this. It's available in the App Store, but it's a pre-order.
Uh-huh.
So you can go to the App Store and you say, yeah, you get, and you know.
I've seen this happen before. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, they've been doing this for a while. Mm-hmm.
Who? Apple has?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never noticed it before.
I don't know if everyone can do it, but I have seen it happen in the past.
I don't even understand the point of it, but anyway.
It's like a I mean, I guess if they're gonna make news about something, but it's not ready to release, now you can say when this does release, I want it. Or it's like a video game pre-order essentially. It's like, oh well, it's not out yet, but I'm gonna give you my money now. When it comes out, I already know that I want it.
Yeah, it's like announcing that you're going to announce your run for the presidency.
Yeah, it's like a pre-announced announcement.
Bumps.
Yeah, exactly.
Two news cycles.
It's marketing 501. It's like a masterclass right there.
I see. Okay, so I guess I'm supposed to talk about this. Yeah, so this came out, appeared for pre-order, I guess, last week in the App Store. It's supposedly going to come out on March 28th. What's that, like next week?
Next week? No.
Week and a half.
Yep.
Anyway, it's going to supposedly offer access to the world's largest classical music catalog with more than 5 million tracks. One of the most interesting things I thought is that it's free for Apple Music subscribers. I thought it was going to be like an add-on. I thought they were like, oh, if you want Apple Music Plus, which includes classical or something, right? That they're going to charge you $2 extra. But no. So they promised they were going to release this standalone classical music app in 2021, supposedly launch in 2022. Obviously, they missed that. This comes after Apple purchased, as you were saying earlier, they purchased Prime Phonic in 2021 and just, shut the doors on it, saying they're going to, we're going to rush out this. But it took them a while. Anyway, supposedly it's going to have, quote, the highest audio quality available, up to 192 kilohertz, 24-bit high-res lossless. That's a mouthful. And hear classical favorites like never before in spatial audio. Now that does sound kind of promising because I don't know if you've ever had the experience of being up close at I'll just say one time I walked into a rehearsal for an orchestra, and it was in this really great sounding room, and it was like all the hairs on my head just kind of tickled. It's just like such an amazing feeling hearing that music just surround you. So if they can make that happen and make it actually sound super immersive, that'll be cool. That might make it more compelling to me, just if it becomes like this, trippy experience.
So I'm putting up some screenshots of Prime Phonics app, which is what Apple bought. And the thing that I thought was interesting. So I've grown up playing instruments, and I started with clarinet.
Whoo!
Terrible choice. Never make your kids play clarinet. I didn't want to play clarinet. I wanted to play sax, and they talked me out of it in 5th grade. They're like, everyone wants to play the sax. You should play the clarinet. Well, I mean, what can you do with the clarinet? You can either play in bat mitzvahs, or you can be in the orchestra. But the clarinet is not a cool instrument, in my humble opinion. In fact, if they just outlawed clarinets, I don't think anyone would complain, Lewis.
I think that, wasn't Eddie Van Halen's dad a clarinet player?
I don't know, man.
He played on one of their songs.
Did he play rock clarinet? Rock
what song
clarinet.
was that?
He's the most talented rock clarinetist I've ever seen.
Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now. They covered that. And so yeah, you can play that stuff, old timey jazz.
Yeah, or you could. I mean, it's real big in the Jewish scene. Like I said, like if you could play like bat mitzvahs or like bar mitzvahs. I'm drawing a blank on other uses. Anyway, so what was interesting to me about this app was, if you like classical music, it actually breaks it down in a very interesting way. So like instead of just having all the music available and searching for it by album as you would on Apple Music, you can search by composer. You can search by conductor. You can search by like era. Like if you want to listen to like Baroque music, you can go and explore all the music in all these different categories. So I think that like the reason that Prime Phonic was popular and probably why Apple bought it is because it organized classical music in a way that was very digestible. And so if you're into classical music, if you want to learn about classical music, about instruments, about composers, conductors, all that stuff is built into Prime Phonic. So it's not just music at very high quality, which it will be, but it's also a way to educate yourself on different eras of classical, different composers, and all the different components of classical music, which I actually thought was pretty cool. Now, again, I wouldn't classify myself as like a classical music nerd. I like it. I think that every once in a while it's kind of nice to do a classical music session, but I wouldn't listen to it. I wouldn't do it all the time. You know why we don't know if Van Halen's dad plays clarinet? Because no one cares about clarinet.
Oh, harsh. Oh. Very harsh.
Oh, man. That gets a very enthusiastic.
Come on, man.
One of the things I heard about this is like, just like you're saying, they have to have a special approach for classical music just because there's 57 recordings of any given piece,
true.
right?
Yeah, everyone does like the same music, right?
Yeah, and so it's like if you could say, I want to hear this particular orchestra performing this particular piece. The question is, will it be able to pull it off? Will the HomePod be able to pull it off? Because I constantly have the problem of asking to hear pick a song, and it won't play it. It plays something else, and I don't understand why. It's completely insane, because it seems like if there's one thing that an AI like that should be able to do, it should be able to give you the thing that you request, right? So it'll be interesting to see just how much of a game changer this is if it actually works. If you actually say play this, and by the way, if you say, hey, have the Berlin Philharmonic play this song, and it actually has the Philadelphia Philharmonic, how are you gonna know the difference?
Well, I would, Lewis.
Well, that's clearly the Berlin one.
I wanted to mention just real fast. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day about modern day composers that we really like. And there's one person that you all probably like that you've never heard of. He did the music for The Mandalorian. He also did all the music for Childish Gambino. And if you know who that is, it's Donald Glover's like a music alias. And I didn't know that at the time. Like, I thought Childish Gambino's albums were like incredible. Like the background music, I was like, the rapping's fine. But like, what makes this album special is the actual tracks that he's rapping to, and then I found out it was the same guy that was doing all these movie scores. The guy's name is Ludovic Goransen. Goransen. He is a Swedish composer, and I think that this guy, like, he's gonna be one of the biggest of our time. Like, he's young, he's 38. He's extraordinarily talented. Like, he's already done a bunch of movies. Let's see here. Fruitvale Station. He's done stuff for the Rocky franchise. He did Tenet. He did Venom. He's done a bunch of stuff for Warner Brothers. Let's see here.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah, he did Black Panther. And then of course he created the music for The Mandalorian, which is, I think, next to next to John Williams, is the best Star Wars music that I've ever heard. Like, it's just the most authentic feeling Star Wars music that I've heard, aside from John Williams. And it's brand new. Like, most people are doing themes of John Williams when they do music for Star Wars, but he actually took that genre and did something new with it, and it was actually good. So I think we'll be hearing a lot more about this guy. He's got great hair too. Look at that hair. That was Lewis about 35 years ago.
Oh, come on.
Actually, that was LK. That was Leander Caney. Leander Caney, I have a picture of him when he was coming to America.
Yeah.
And he had the most glorious mane I think I've ever seen.
Hard to believe they let him in.
Yeah, no kidding. Now they've been trying to
get
rid of him ever since. And Lewis, I there's one other thing I wanted to mention before we wrap up here that I missed. So we were talking about AI.
Oh, I wondered if you're going to circle back.
Yeah, I have to circle back to this. I have to. I am just blown away by the progress in machine learning. Many of you have probably heard ChatGPT just released a new version 4, which can do even more than it could do before. I was telling Lewis, like, I know a guy that works at Microsoft who's going to be involved in monetizing ChatGPT. So OpenAI, which I think Elon Musk is either an owner of or like a substantial investor in, they're the creators of ChatGPT and DALL-E, which is their AI image generator. And Microsoft just announced a $10 billion, billion with a B, dollar investment in ChatGPT. And this guy's job at Microsoft is going to be figuring out how to monetize this investment into like different products. And you've probably seen a ton of this stuff on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, but it's just unbelievable how fast things are moving. And some of this now is showing up in Hollywood, right? So they're using some of this machine learning technology to do CGI for different movies. And I've mentioned examples in the past. Like, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but there was one in oh my goodness, what show was it? There was an appearance in The Mandalorian that looked kind of rough. I was like, ooh, that was clearly CG, and it didn't look great. And then that same character made another appearance in the Book of Boba Fett, and it was like it was like light years ahead of the previous version of that same character in the previous show, The Mandalorian. And I was like, what is going on here? So I looked up some stuff, and apparently there's this guy on YouTube that that Lucasfilm hired because he was doing a bunch of machine learning, image generation, or face replacements for characters. So like he would take actors from the past and put their faces into different movies where they didn't actually have a role, and bring these characters back to life like in new ways. I think I saw he superimposed Tom Selleck's face onto Indiana Jones' face. It was like a new Indiana Jones, and it was like one of the most unbelievable de-agings that I ever seen.
So was this character, was this a young, skinny Jabba the Hutt?
I don't think so.
Oh.
So check this out. So I just saw this for Indiana Jones, the new movie, which I'm praying isn't going to be terrible. And there's a scene where they show a young Indiana Jones, and they de-aged Harrison Ford for this scene, and it is probably the most incredible de-aging that I've ever seen. So I just wanted to show you guys a quick picture. I'm glad that we're doing this at the end of the show so that people listening aren't annoyed with me that we're talking about this for 20 minutes.
Talking about a picture.
Yeah, here we go. It's right here. This image that you're seeing here is from the new Indiana Jones movie. That is the most realistic de-aging that I've ever seen. And the reason it's superior to the way they used to do it is because they used to have an artist try to recreate the face, and it was like illustrated, right? I'm probably not describing that correctly. Machine learning works totally different. They feed the algorithm just tons of images, and then the machine learning just creates an image from different angles with your own face. It knows your face so well that it doesn't need your face anymore to show you in a movie and moving around like a normal person and showing you from all those different scenes, because it knows your face well enough to just do it for you. Like that is unbelievable. Like, look how real that looks.
I can't see anything, man. All I see is you and me. And I mean, I know I look very young.
I'm so sorry.
Very
I have been on
young.
the wrong. There it is. Sorry. I can't believe I made that rookie mistake. So now I'm sharing the image for all of you. So here you have Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. This is the new Indiana Jones. This is a snippet from the new trailer they just released. And look at that image, dude. That is unreal. And if you watch it, I can't play it because we'll probably get copyrighted, but like if you watch it, you can see him moving around, and it looks like he's in the role. And let's see here. Streamline saying, will we even need real actors in the future? I honestly don't think so. We're getting to a point where things are moving so fast that at a certain point, they won't even need you in the movie anymore, because they can have AI do your voice. That already exists.
Well, they've already got like synthetic pop stars in Japan, right? Or South Korea.
I don't know. And now, I mean, they're getting so good. The facial stuff isn't perfect, like, but in 5 years from now, you'll be able to do this on your MacBook Pro. I mean, like, you know, it's. I mean, they already let you download a version of Midjourney, which is essentially an AI image creation tool, and you can download it and run it off your GPU. And I mean, I ran this through DALL-E version 2. So I just gave it a prompt. I'm showing some more images here. I just said green twilight on an alien world with 3 moons hovering over the horizon. And this is what it came up with, man. I mean, this is just totally fake. It just made all this up. I mean, that looks like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I saw some things today too on Twitter. People were saying, okay, here's this prompt with, you know, the previous version of whatever it is, ChatGPT. It's not, I can't remember what it's called. OpenAI, maybe.
OpenAI owns ChatGPT. Oh, DALL-E?
What's the visual? Anyway, but they said this was done with the old version like 2 or 3 months ago, and this was done with the new one, and it looks so much more realistic. I mean, the first one looked good, but the second one looked like real. And just a person, right? It looked like a photograph of a human being.
Well, I mean, I let's see here. I prompted some of these. Let's see. So these images that I'm showing you now, this is not a real person. I think I asked it to give me like a headshot of like Walt Disney. I think that's what I said, and I forget what parameters I specified. but this is what it came up with.
God,
this is supposed to be Christopher Walken in an oil painting, impressionist oil painting with a clown nose on. This is what it came up with.
That doesn't look like Christopher Walken.
No, it doesn't at all. I wonder if the reason that it doesn't look like Christopher Walken is because they don't want to get sued for copyright claims. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Copyright of what?
Well, his likeness. You can't create someone's likeness and sell it. That's illegal. Well, it's not. Well, I guess they could sue you for it. So I wonder if these AI engines try to avoid doing that. Let's see here. What else did I do? I don't know. I don't remember what I. I spelled that one wrong. This one I said college photograph of Walt Disney, although I wrote Walk Disney instead of Walt, holding a ping pong paddle. Let's see here.
Sheesh, those are terrible.
Newspaper photo of a giraffe, ping pong champion after winning a tournament. What is this? I have no idea. Oh, there we go. There's a good one.
Pranta Jingjing.
That's number one right there.
Oh,
that's
boy.
it. If you guys want these, I'll sell them to you for $100 pop. Anyway, so I would love to see Apple get into this game, man, but they're so far behind. That's what I was going to mention earlier. It's like you see what ChatGPT is doing, you see what is happening at OpenAI with Midjourney, and it's like, oh my goodness, how is Apple ever going to catch up with this? They're so far behind already. They're going to have to buy one of these companies. So when I hear a report that Apple is re-examining AI development, it's like, dude, you're re-examining it? You know, Midjourney is on version 5. ChatGPT's on version 4. They have something that's working. Microsoft just put $10 billion into the game. And you're thinking about it?
They're still trying to figure out how to fix Siri, right?
Yeah, Siri can't even give me driving directions right. And we got ChatGPT writing full-on source code with just a few sentences, you know?
Write an owner's manual for my car.
That's what I'm saying. ChatGPT, write me the code to generate a new smart assistant for my Apple iPhone. TC is probably working on it right now. All right, all. I think we should go ahead and wrap it up there. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. But you know what? Me and Lewis, we're on the new Twitter, duking it out. And if you want to come hang out with us, I'm at Airfon ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Walsh. This has been the CultCast, the best 30+ minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. You think the talk show's better? You think so? You get the hell out of here. Well, thank everyone for hanging out with us live and for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. I just had a fantastic idea, Lewis.
Yeah?
ChatGPT, write me a script for a winning podcast episode that talks about Apple products. We're going straight to the top of the charts, Lewis.
I love it.
Why did I never think about that before? Write me all the things that I should say to bring them in when we go live. Write me a title. I actually did a test like that, and you know what? It gave me some suggestions, and I was like, these are decent. These are decent. I asked to give me suggestions on YouTube titles.
Yeah?
Like viral YouTube titles, and I was like, these are not bad.
Wow. Start with the headline, then produce the content.
That's the key. Start with the headline, you get them in there, and then you figure out what you're going to do after that.
Be sure to specify in your prompt with, magic eyebrows.
That's key. All right, everyone. Catch you next week. Bye.